All right, everybody, so welcome back to the weekly fishing report. So if you're new here and you like this kind of content, hit that like button. It helps me out a whole lot. Hit that subscribe button. I'm always putting out stuff related to bass fishing, trying to help you catch more fish as I'm out there trying to figure out exactly what the fish are doing. But either way, if you have any questions, as always, drop a comment down below. Everything's going to be linked in the description. If you don't have questions, you just want to talk fishing, drop a comment. I love hearing from you guys. It's really encouraging. So we're basically in, I don't want to say full-blown winter, but you know, we're in that winter pattern. Most of the fish have already transitioned to the main lake. Now, you can still catch a lot of fish in that quarter mark at the beginning of the mouth of a creek, all the way up to like the first secondary point where there's run-ins and stuff like that. You know, you're still going to catch a lot of fish. But one of the key aspects of fishing right now that I'm struggling with myself, you got to slow down. You got to slow down. I know we're still in that summer to fall, you know, just, you know, moving stuff really fast, you know, ripping, all that good stuff, the stuff that we love to do, get those strong reaction strikes, but we're going to have to slow down. And one of the main things that I've noticed, long cast. Long cast is going to be a huge key. When you're fishing your main lake points and stuff like that, you're definitely going to want to make those super long casts because these fish are used to seeing everything. It's going to be a little while before they kind of settle down. There's really nobody on the lake at all over the weekend, and you know, then you can start implementing stuff, getting a little closer, you know, drawing these fish from a short distance. But right now, your long casts and stuff like that in your typical areas, your main lake points, your secondary points at the beginning of your creeks, run-ins, okay? So any run-ins, even if they're dry, those ditches that's in those run-ins and stuff, the ditches that's in your creeks, the ditches that are in your pockets, any kind of thing you can identify as far as a ditch with your eyes or your maps or anything like that, check those areas. But slow down big time, because if you don't, you're going to miss a lot of fish. A lot of fish are just not going to commit to it because everything's cold, okay? I'm noticing like Smith Lake, the water temperature is peaking at 68. Early in the morning, it's anywhere between that 65 to 66. But, you know, another lake that I fish, Bear, we're like max is 61, so we're talking 59, 58 in the morning surface temp. So you know, it's really cooling off. Now if you get those hard rains, I'm noticing if you get those hard rains and you can go immediately the day after or the day of, which you're probably not going to want to do with it being, you know, super cold, 30 something degrees, you know, high 50 something, but where I'm at. But either way, you know, going after those real hard rainy days and fishing those run-ins as that water comes in, you know, you're going to catch fish doing that also. But you know, they're still going to linger around those areas, so you know, pay close attention to that. But I'm going to give you my top 3 baits for this week. First bait that I want to talk about is that underspin. Okay, so the underspin is just a huge key factor. It mimics bait fish very well. Setup's going to be the most important. This is a 6'10" medium fast action rod. This is by Thunderhawk. This is the Elite Series rod. 10-pound braided line, 8-pound fluorocarbon, 6:2 to 1 gear ratio. Anytime I'm using moving baits on a spinning rod, even if I'm not, I really like the 6:2 to 1 gear ratio. Any fast spinning reel with a good drag system, to me, is going to be perfect because, you know, like I talk about, you're not going to be setting the hook really hard with spinning rods. You're going to pull into them and reel down. It's going to drive that hook as those fish turn away. But, you know, that underspin, this is a Fish Head Co. underspin. You've heard me talk about this. I buy the albino, I buy the straight, you know, just the lead head one. But Rapala Crow City Mayor, 6 cents Divine. I used the Mayor this week. The Divine, I also used it. Caught fish off of both of them. I'm just trying to get done with the rest of my Mayors, and I'm pretty much going to make the swap to Divine. I don't really notice a whole lot of difference. They don't tear up as quick, but you know, either way, the Mayor, the Divine, whatever swim bait you like. Also had some bites off the Rage Swimmer, the smaller 2.75 inch Rage Swimmer. But you know, just play around with your swim baits, what you like to use. But you know, the underspin is going to be a great way to mimic those threadfin shad. It's going to be a good way to mimic gizzards, golden shiners, whatever, you know, maybe in your lake or river system that you fish. The other one's just a small swim bait. So the 3/8 ounce swim bait, medium moderate action rod, 7 foot, 6:2 to 1 gear ratio, 10 to 8 pound. But you know, 3/8 ounce all-terrain smallie smasher. You've heard me talk about this a lot. I like that 3/8 ounce most of the time. Sometimes I'll go to a 1/4 ounce, but I typically like that 3/8 ounce, especially the all-terrain or the 4x4 little jig head, because of that small light wire hook. It's easier to drive that hook into spotted bass or largemouth, anything you may, or any type of bass that you may be fishing for. But you know, I'm typically running the Mayor. I'm also running the 6 Sense Divine again on that. If you notice, I'm really focusing right now on the shad patterns, because the shad are still very active. They're still moving around, okay? They're not just sitting still because they're so cold. So these fish are still chasing them. This is what those fish rely on most of the time, is shad and crawfish and brim, okay? Your brim eaters, most of those are going to be in the first parts of your creeks. And then your crawfish eaters are going to be close to like the riprap and stuff like that on your dams, or rocky points, anything like that that has, you know, maybe some vegetation that's dying off. Those crawfish love to eat that dead vegetation and stuff, so it gives them that color this time of year. You know, and then, you know, just really focusing on shad is what I do on my home lakes. But you know, don't be afraid to bounce around from your brim to your shad to your crawfish colors. But either way, the other one, this was the main one that I was catching the bigger fish off of, a 1/4 ounce swim bait head, and then I'm throwing the Rage Swimmer on this also. This is the 3.75 inch Rage Swimmer. I suggest the 3.75 inch Rage Swimmer. Ribs are pointed forward, more resistance. You get a lot of action. You can really slow that bait down and target those fish with 7'3" medium heavy action Tyco series rod by Thunderhawk. You know, if you want to get one of these good carbon rods, I've sent these jokers into the trolling motor. I've done all kinds of stuff to them. I can't get them to break. So I'm not trying to break them, but I mess all kind of stuff up. But either way, you know, I've had good luck out of these rods. I really like these rods, super sensitive. They're about a $300 rod, but if you want to save 20%, use my code CPOSY20 at Thunderhawk Lures and you can get 20% off this. But either way, I'm running 15-pound fluorocarbon, 7.5 to 1 gear ratio reel. That way I can catch up on those long casts when those fish hit that swim bait from behind. Either way, guys, if the video helped you at all, make sure to like, subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. Like I always say, comment down below. Everything will be linked down in the description. Focus on your main lake points. Focus on the quarter parts of your creek going to your first secondary points, your old run-ins and stuff, your ditches. Those are going to be your main areas. And slow down. These are the 3 baits that I use this week. Try other baits and stuff like that you can slow down and target those fish. But either way, guys, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.